G'day guys, look at the mess I am creating. To tell you I made a mess doing this layout, major understatement. I literally had just cleaned up my, I literally just cleaned up my room. I vacuumed everything, I dusted everything down, and then I decided that I would pull out my die cut machine. I have the Spellbinders manual die cut machine, and I absolutely love it. And I'll be honest with you, I think I've used the SIZZIX. What I'm using is the SIZZIX THINLETS borders. They're borders, number 664178. I'll have that all written below. Don't stress about writing numbers down. And I'll be honest with you, I absolutely loved it. Now, I was getting to the point where we're sort of getting to the end of the month, and because I'm looking at changing a few things, we've got the giveaway gone, that's done. So, although I've got to tell you, I really want to do another one, which I'm sure you guys would like another one too. So basically, I was having a look at what papers I could finish off or what was sort of sitting around. And I still had a little bit, look at that mess, would you? Woo. That is some serious mess. Now, I still had some of the Craft Consortium Over the Rainbow papers left. So what I did is I sat here while I was watching the funniest show ever, which is, I will tell you what it's called. It's on Foxtel if you're in Australia, and it is called, I literally have watched the entire season today, and it's called Animal Patrol or something, I think it's called. So Animal Control is what it's called. Man, I tell you what, you want a good laugh, get you some of that. It is funny. Okay, so I sat here and I die cut what was left of the Craft Consortium papers in the Over the Rainbow collection. That is the paper pad that we used for the first Create With Me, crazy, what do you call it? You know, I did the classes. My words aren't working. When I did the free classes, and you could purchase it and you could do it. So this is an idea you can use to go from there. You can use whatever you have at home. You might use a border punch. You might have some dies at home. You might want to just tear the papers. You could do literally just cut strips and use a hole punch. Do a variegated hole punch, and you could just do some, you know, if you've got a 1/8 and a normal size hole punch, you could go through and create that. Would work really well. Then what I decided to pull out is something I hardly ever pull out because they're in a drawer and I forget about them. These are shimmers. So I have pulled out, as you can see there, I've created a bit of a rainbow going up. So I ended up using CREAMEEZ. So I have, let me see, CREAMEEZ Power to the Purple, which is the bottom one. And then the very top one is One Hot Mama. So those two, you actually add water to it. So it comes to you like a dried watercolor in the pot, and you just add water to it. And it just dries back out again, not a problem. These ones, which are shimmers, they actually come as a liquid and you mix them up. So these ones I used Iris My Case, Tickle Me Turquoise, Bluegrass, Key Lime, Bumblybee, and Carrot Top. So, and One Hot Mama's right at the very top. So I decided that I was going to create a nice rainbow, and I'm going to use these border punches to create a really bright, fun layout. I still had a couple of photos from when I gave Alexi a haircut. If you're new to my channel, I have several little dogs. And my little dog, her name is Lexi. She is a Chihuahua and she is beautiful. She is a fluff ball. She is extremely Chihuahua spirited. That's how I'm going to word it. Unlike Gizmo, who is just an adorable little button that he's just the sweetest little thing. Whereas I gotta say, Lexi, whew, mate, she's got Pitbull in there somewhere, I'm sure of it. She really doesn't. She's an absolute 100% purebred. But I think she thinks she's a pit bull. But anyway. So I decided with these couple of photos that I had left, I was going to, because, you know, I always print photos and I print all my photos on my home printer. So I've got an Epson 8600, Epson Stylus 8600, XP 8600, and I print my photos at home. And I print them on matte photo paper, archival matte photo paper, and the brand I use is Epson, and I never waver from that brand. It gives me beautiful, crisp pictures every single time. My ink, I use my printer has 6 different separate colours, so I get good depth of colour with all my photos. But when I print my photos, sometimes I get a little bit, because I print them on an A4 sheet, I have to sort of I have to sort of plan out my photos and how many I'm going to print at the time and that sort of thing. So I try to only print what I know I'm going to use, but quite often when it comes to doing a layout, I'll lay the layout out and then realize, oh, I've printed one too many. That's not going to quite work. And I don't throw those photos away. I keep them because I printed them because I liked them. So sometimes I am guilty of this. I will create a page for the sake of creating a page. And that's when I reach for my photos of maybe my black and white dog. You know, Lexi is a tricolour. Although now she's 7 years old, she's lost a little bit of the brown, I've got to say. So she's gorgeous little thing, but so mostly her photos, she's black and white. So, and Gizmo's pure white. So, that totally works for me. Now, as you can see what I'm doing here, so I'm just trimming off the very end because the Thinlet was actually, I think it goes all the way, and I've already put it away, so I can't measure it while I'm talking to you, but it went ever so slightly, like I'm talking 3 mil over the edge for me to have the whole thing, lined up on the 6x6 paper pad. So I just have to tell you, it was a little bit frustrating because I had to keep trimming the very edges of it, which was really frustrating, but it's okay. I mean, look, I was watching this show, guys, I have to tell you, if you're an Aussie, I don't know, I mean, obviously it's an American show, so it would probably be on overseas as well, but I don't know what it would be on. Foxtel for us is pay TV, so probably your cable, I'm guessing. And yeah, Animal Control, I've got to tell you, funny. I have not had a show for a very long time absolutely crack me up laughing. Like, I mean, belly laughing. My husband, he actually yelled out to me, he's like, "Are you all right down there?" And I'm like, this show is so stupid, but it's so funny. Like, and I'm not one to watch, I don't even think I can say that. I don't usually go towards silly comedy, you know, the slapsticky stuff. I love Friends, okay? I absolutely love that. I love Mum. I love watching that. I love watching Big Bang Theory, you know, that sort of stuff. But when it, you know, like The Office, okay, slightly controversial here, but I don't get it. I don't get it. I have tried so hard to try and understand the gag. And don't get me wrong, I love Steve Carell. I really do. I love them. Everyone that's in it, I love their comedy. But that particular show, I just don't get. So Anyway, while I waffle, I'm just lining up bits of borders and I'm going up in a rainbow order. So I can have a bit of time to waffle and have a chit chat to you guys. So basically, so I was watching this show and it absolutely cracked me up. I've been, the last couple of weeks, Kel will know this, I've been talking to Kel and she gave me a few places, a few places to go to. Okay, sure. She's in New Zealand, I'm in Australia, but anyway, she gave me a couple of shows to watch and I've been sort of going down the rabbit hole of, you know, a lot of true crime and all that sort of stuff. I love the true crime podcasts and all that sort of thing. I've been getting into that lately, but I just wanted a bit of lighthearted something today. And boy, this hit the mark. I think I actually saw it. I think I saw it advertised. This is zero judgment, guys. Do not judge. Do not come at me with judgment. I have got very broad shoulders and it's fine if you do. To be honest with you, I got into that and I went down that rabbit hole. I lost my train of thought then because I've got kids talking outside my door. I think my other daughter's home now. So she's been out with a wonderful day. I'm sure she's had an amazing day. Been out with her boyfriend and his family and stuff, and they went out for lunch and all that sort of thing. So it's absolutely wonderful, and he's such a nice boy, which is fantastic. So I had to pull out the old die cut machine and cut just a couple more because as I was putting these on, I didn't really think about how many I needed to go on each row. I didn't measure it. I just sort of, you saw what I did. I just laid the pots, the Shimmers pots out, and then I just sort of went across and created a bit of a rainbow going up and sort of blended it a little bit. The one thing I didn't do, this is just on the Poppy Crafts cardstock, heavy cardstock. That's all it is. I didn't put any gesso down. I did get a little bit of warping, but you know what? As it dries and once it was dry, I run it sort of across and off the edge of my table. I've got a plastic table. So my table that I work on is actually, it's covered in contact and it's just a plastic Bunnings table. That's all it is. And I just run I kind of roll my layouts on the edge of it and it flattens it back out for me. I really don't have a huge issue if it's got a little bit of warping on it because it's mixed media. It's going to do that. By the way, that little black tool, it has taken me years to figure out how to use that to the best of my advantage and to get it to work properly. Yes, it makes a huge mess, but I ditched the bit of foam that you're supposed to run it on top of. If you get rid of that and you just use the brush, oh, it's amazing. Knocks all those little pieces out and it's brilliant. I love how that rainbow looks down the side. Now, I glued these down and then realized, hang on, I didn't measure my title. I knew I wanted to use the ones, I wanted the title out of this particular Thickers set, which is Thickers, and the title is Perfect Day. Now, I wanted to make it down the bottom there, and then I realized, I made it a bit too small. I needed to move the photos up ever so slightly. It's okay. Don't stress. Don't sweat the small stuff. We get there. So I wanted to make this the small things because there's not a lot to tell other than, as I said, sometimes I do my layouts because of the subject matter. Sometimes I do it for the photos and the story, and sometimes I do it just for the creativity side of it. And this is one of those layouts. I just wanted to use up these few bits of beautiful cardstock, and I think it works perfectly. I think it comes together really nicely. I love how the watercolor goes across the other side of the page. I think you tell me what you think, but I think it turned out pretty good. So there was nothing super uber technical about this page. Now this gold that I'm mixing here, this is my homemade gold that I do with my gum arabic and my gold mica powder mixed with water, and that's it. So now I'm just floofing them up. That's a very technical term, by the way. You can use that if you want. Floofing. And I just grabbed my Uniquely Creative sparkle brush, and this is just the clear sparkles, and they just sort of sit on top of this cardstock, and I really liked it. Just added a bit more shimmer and shine because there wasn't quite enough on there. And then of course I wasn't going to go around the very edge with the black, but you know my thing with threes, I've got to have it on 3. So I went around the edges just with a quick Posca paint pen border. That was it. So that is my layout, guys. I will have everything listed below, and I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about the sun starting to come in there. It was just the time of day that it was happening. So yeah, those gold dots, they're out of the Thickers Perfect Day set as well. I just thought I'd chuck a couple of them on. And yeah, so do you like all the texture and all those borders all lined up on top of each other? I loved how they turned out. It's so texture and lots of, yeah, I loved it. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking around. And if you're new to my channel, please like, subscribe, let me know where you're from. I love all that sort of thing. I post 6 videos a week, and I will be back tomorrow with another one. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.